Hello, Tab Nation. It's your boy Tom, and today I wanted to do a quick video to kind of help people out. These are some questions that I see come up quite a lot in some of the Facebook groups, Reddit groups, any type of group where people are trying to start coding for the first time. And these questions get asked on a daily basis. And hopefully this video will help those new people in knowing how to properly ask their questions. I've done a video in the past kind of about that, but this one's going to be more specific towards, the last one was more about how to post. This one is going to be about how to ask questions when you're a beginner. So some of the questions that we get starting off is, I want to code, where do I start? Well, that question's kind of too broad. I mean, you're going to get 100 different answers just based off what that person is experienced in, what their way of learning was, that kind of thing. So it's not really going to help you. You'll get 100 answers. Maybe everybody says, oh, learn C++ first. So you're like, okay, I'll learn C++, just to find out you actually are looking to get into web design, in which case you just wasted all your time in learning a language that you're pretty much never going to use if it comes to that category. So tell us what your goals are. That's like by far the first thing you should say. I want to get into gaming, web development, and even then, take it a step farther if you can. Okay, you want to get into gaming. Do you need to learn how to use something like Blender? Do you want to create a two-dimensional game, a three-dimensional game, an Oculus Rift game, like a virtual reality? We need to know your goals specifically, because that could greatly change the answers you're going to get. If your goal is to get into gaming and you have 50 people say, oh, learn HTML first, you're wasting your time. You're probably never going to use that. So, try to be specific on what your goals are. Don't just say, I want to learn, where do I start? The next thing too is, if you ask, where can I learn? Well, tell us what kind of learner you are. Do you learn better from actually reading? Or if you're like me, do you learn from like watching YouTube videos? That's how I learned, is YouTube videos, because you can see it. The person speaks about every single thing, and you see it in action while they're talking about it. So let us know, because then you're going to get, once again, multiple answers. You'll get people saying, oh, go to Udemy, go to YouTube, or just read the documentation, go to Stack Overflow. You're going to get so many answers, and then you're just sitting there having to do the work yourself regardless. So answering that kind of question, it's just going to be a waste of your time. So always let us know what your goals are, no matter what your question is. Now, another one that I'm actually surprised comes up a lot is, am I too young or too old to learn? The answer is no. So I personally, I started learning to code when I was only in, I believe it was 8th grade. So I was pretty young when I started learning. But I never really got that into depth until I was like in my late 20s, and that's when I really started to learn how to code. Now, I even have worked with people. I do live streams every Friday, and we have people on there that are 50 plus. We even have a guy who shows up from time to time who's, not to offend the guy, but I think he's probably like in his 80s, and he's learning to code. And he's just, I think, doing it as a hobby. So age does not matter when it comes to coding whatsoever. I mean, there's even programs out there for like first graders to learn how to code. So you're never too young or too old to start. It's just, the fact that you're starting is a good, thing. The next thing too that comes up quite a bit is people say, what's the best language to learn? Well, that kind of goes back to the beginning of this video where, what are your goals? I mean, there is no such thing as a best language. If there was, there would only be one language that existed. It just depends on your goal. You want to do web design? Well, then the best languages are going to be, like HTML, JavaScript, CSS. But if you want to learn to maybe do automation, the best languages are going to probably be Python or AutoHotkey. And that's what my channel is mostly about, is automation. So that's what you'll find a lot with me. So once again, goals are always important. That's what we need to give you a good answer, because then you're just going to get 100 different answers. So yeah. Now, some tips that I want to kind of throw out there is, when you ask questions, maybe you've already started your journey in coding, and I see this a lot. My code won't work. Why? Okay, we could sit there and run through, 100 lines of your code and hopefully help you, but it's going to be faster for us to find the problem and give you an answer faster. If you give us more details, then my code doesn't work. Well, what's not working about it? Is it not even starting? Is it saying line at error 30 or line 31? Does it give you an error? Copy and paste the error over so we can see it. You get that message box that pops up. Even though you can't highlight the text usually, you can still actually press Control-C and Control-V to paste it over into your question. So give us as much detail as possible. Is a certain line not working? Is a certain segment not working? Is it working but giving you the wrong answer? That's going to make us give you an answer way faster, and you're probably going to get more help, because honestly, there's times where people have posted code and I'm like, yeah, this is 200 lines of code. I don't even know where to start because they didn't explain it to me. I'm scrolling past you because I'm not taking my time to go through the mess of the code and try to figure out the issue for you. So you're more likely to get more help. The other one, which is funny that I have to say this, do not post pictures of your code. The reason why is, well, there's a few reasons, really. First one is, what if we're on our phone and blowing up the picture gets blurry and it's hard for us to read the text because you took the picture way back here? The second thing is, maybe we want to test the code for you. We want to copy and paste it, throw it into Notepad++ or VS Code, whatever IDE you're using. It's going to be so much easier for us to copy and paste your code over and test it versus us having to sit there and type out the whole thing just to test it. And once again, that kind of goes back, you're more likely to get less help if you do that, because I see a picture, I'm not going to sit there and type your code out just to test it. I'm scrolling past your thing. So pictures are a big no-no. Like, don't post pictures. Please don't do that. It's a waste of everybody's time. It's more effort to help you. And a lot of people are going to just skip you. The last one that I see come up a lot is, what do I need to code? Well, the answer is simple. A computer. People are like, sometimes when they're new to coding, they're convinced they need like this, super $1,000, $2,000 computer, and it has to have a certain operating system. Now, some languages, yeah, they do. AutoHotkeys, for example, does have to be a Windows computer because it does not work on Mac or Linux. But for the most part, a lot of languages are going to work on either a Mac or Windows. Really, people will sit there and tell you, oh, well, Mac's better for coding, Windows better for coding. It's really your opinion on what you want to do. I mean, they have pros and cons to each one, but it's really more your preference. Which operating system are you more comfortable with? Are you comfortable with learning a new operating system if you never touched the other one before? So there's really no point in asking that question, because once again, you'll get hundreds of answers. It's more of your preference. You don't need a high-end computer. I mean, you can literally go to Best Buy and buy like a $300-$400 computer and code on it. I actually know a guy who does freelance work that I talked to on the Discord. He actually has like basically a Raspberry Pi with an operating system installed on it. I don't remember which one. And a Raspberry Pi, you can buy those for like $40. And he codes on that. And he has no issues. I mean, sometimes if he runs the code, it might be a little laggy. But as far as coding goes, like, it works for him. So, buying a $2,000 computer, you're wasting your money. I wouldn't recommend maybe going with a $40 Raspberry Pi, but you do not need a high-end computer. if the computer works, doesn't lag a lot, it's going to be fine for coding for the most part. So yeah, these are a lot of the questions I see come up all the time. If I missed any that you think people should know about, definitely let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video later with some more of the usual welcome to coding. I'll do like a part 2 welcome to coding. Maybe, oh, you started, now what? So yeah, hope you get some use out of this. Definitely hit that subscribe button. I'm always putting videos out, mostly about AutoHotkeys and automation. Even the videos that I branch out with still usually have to do with automation in some way. And hit the like button. Lets me know if you like these kind of videos, so I know if I want to do another one and that sort of thing. Alright everybody, thank you. Hope this helped. See you on the next one.